will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Log Talk Radio.
Hey there, Detroit sports fanatics. I'm Taylor Phillips, and welcome to Taylor's Detroit Sports Show postgame Tuesday, April 21st, 2015 at 11:30 p.m. Eastern. Call in with your name, city, and state at 646-478-4837. That is 646-478-4837. Or send me a text message with your name, city, and state at 231-429-3668. That is 231-429-3668. Those are the numbers you need to call and text if you want to share your Detroit sports opinion. Tonight we're going to talk Red Wings and Tigers. A little issue with 97.1 The Ticket's contract to air the Tigers instead of the Red Wings Stanley Cup playoffs coverage. Peter Mrazek made 22 saves in a shutout win effort as the Red Wings blanked the Tampa Bay Lightning 3-0 at Joe Louis Arena. They take a 2-1 series lead in the Eastern Conference quarterfinals, which I also like to call the Atlantic Division Series. I wasn't able to listen to that game because all the radio stations had to. I wasn't able to listen to the game until the last 10 minutes of the third period because I used up all the limited data on my phone, and all the radio stations that are not streaming online. All the radio stations, FM and AM, in my car were airing the Tigers. Instead of the Red Wings, and that is a mistake. The Tigers are only 14 games in to the regular season, and the Red Wings are already in the playoffs, and the playoffs is already occurring. Jim Costa, my WMHW sports director of Morrock Radio 91.5, told me that 97.1 The Ticket has a contract that forces them to air certain teams like the Tigers. The other stations are free to air the Red Wings if they want. And I call that an entire on-air screw job, because typically 97.1 The Ticket is terrible at doing a lot of things. That they have made way too many mistakes. They have signed a mistake of a contract to air the Tigers and none of the Red Wings Stanley Cup playoff coverage when both teams are playing at the same time. And that pisses me off. That pisses every Red Wing fan off everywhere. The only way for us to listen to Game 3 between the Lightning and Wings was online at NHL.com or on the NHL Game Center mobile app on our smartphones. See right here? Here are all the scores right now. Blackhawks lead the Predators 2-1 after 2 periods. The Flames lead the Canucks 3-1, 9:30 left to go in the second. The Capitals beat the Islanders in overtime 2-1 and tie the series at 2. The Flames lead the series 2-1. The Blackhawks lead their series 2-1. But again, I was not happy about it. So I was going to break down the pros and cons, but unfortunately I can't do that because I was only able to catch the last 10 minutes of the third period, and I am slamming 97.1 the ticket for that. It's a terrible station. Nobody in the Detroit area should listen to it. More importantly, the Red Wings should no longer be on the ticket. 97.1. It should move. They should move to 11:30 a.m. WDFN or the HD2 feed of Detroit Sports 105.1, or move back to 760 a.m. WJR. Maybe they should move to 101 The Riff, WRIF in Detroit. Or maybe 94.7 WCSX, Detroit's classic rock station. Anyway, I'm just going to read the recap instead. What a foolish night in Detroit sports media tonight. Shame on everybody. Anyway, Pavel Datsyuk, Riley Sheahan, and Luke Glendening all scored for the Wings. Glendening with the empty netter. Datsyuk's I'm going to read the scoring summary here. Datsyuk's second goal of the playoffs of this year's playoffs came in at 8:46 into the game. Wings led 1-0 after 20 minutes. Riley Sheahan made it 2-0 at 6:42 into the third period. Datsyuk's goal was assisted by Tomas Tatar and Jonathan Ericsson, of all people. Sheahan's power play goal was assisted by a returning Justin Applicator, who returned from an unspecified hand injury. Everybody was stupid enough to not. Every piece of the Red Wings, every Red Wings beat writer was stupid enough to not know exactly what it was. Was it a broken finger or a fractured finger or a hand contusion or whatever? We got to know, guys. The doctors, especially Justin Applicator, he could have told everybody. He could have told everybody himself. Well, he's back anyway, so forget that. Then Luke Glendening put in the empty netter, and Jonathan Ericsson got his second assist. Drew Miller with the other assist. There's a con here. The Red Wings committed 7 penalties. And the Lightning committed 5. One 2-minute penalty each Red Wing, each penalized Red Wing was only penalized of one, was only hit with one penalty. Jonathan Erickson at 10:30 for holding it for a 2-minute minor holding penalty, 2-minute holding minor at 10:35 into the first, and then at 13:55, it's 3:20 apart. Henrik Zetterberg for holding. In the second period, Luke Glendening for interference at 4:47. Danny DeKeyser for delay of game at 5:51, clearing the puck over the glass and into the seats from his defensive zone. Nicholas Kronwall for hooking at 12:17. Tomas Tatar in the 2:37 into the third holding, and capping it off, Justin Abdelkader for roughing at 8:39 into the third period. The Red Wings have committed 20 2-minute penalties in this series thus far. But their penalty killing unit has done a heck of a job. Game 2 was a fluke Saturday, but I think the Red Wings should stay out of the box more. They got to cut back on the penalties. Their penalty killing is doing an awesome job, and so is their goaltender, Peter Mrazek. I think he should be the number one goaltender for all of next season. And if Howard has to stay, he'll have to back up Mrazek most of the time. The Wings administration would have no other choice anyway, because they know how well Mrazek has outplayed Jimmy Howard in the regular season and in the playoffs. Peter Mrazek denied Lightning center Brian Boyle on a shorthanded breakaway attempt 8:30 into the third. Mrazek stopped, and then he stopped Cedric Paquette's backhand shot from the slot with a pad save with about 4 minutes left in the second period. That was before the third. That was before he made a save on Boyle, shorthanded. The Wings killed off a 56-second two-man disadvantage early in the second period. Tyler Johnson had Mrazek beat, but he hit the goalpost during the two-man advantage at 6:06 during the two-man advantage. Well, there were a couple Red Wings that hit the iron as well. Zidlitsky only 1:36 into the second period, and Darren Helm hit the post at just 1 minute and 8 seconds into the game. It was also a puck that hit the goalpost behind Mrazek off the leg of Red Wings left winger Drew Miller around the 10-minute mark of the first. That almost tied. Drew Miller almost knocked it into his own net with about 10 minutes to go in the first period. And then Mrazek made another save on Johnson with 7:54 remaining in the opening period from the right circle, from the right face-off circle. Steven Stamkos was not on the ice for any of Tampa Bay's first power play, which came midway through the first period. Stamkos took a slashing penalty against Helm after the power play ended. That's a surprising moment there. So a few clanks on both ends of the hockey rink. Just a crazy game, but the Red Wings were able to draw a bagel on the Tampa Bay Lightning offense, especially with Peter Mrazek in goal. Again, this is just an overview of the Red Wings game. I'll get to the Tigers in a second. But the Red Wings and Lightning play in Game 4 tomorrow night at Joe Louis Arena. The Wings lead the series 2-1. They look to make it a 3-1 series lead. On Fox Sports Detroit and NBCSN at 7 o'clock. The Wings will be on FM frequency, FM radio frequency Thursday night because the Tigers are playing an afternoon game. The Tigers' 4-game series finale with the New York Yankees at Comerica Park is a day game at 1:08. Speaking of the Tigers and Yankees, the Yankees beat the Tigers 5-2. They had to hold on with the bases loaded and 2 out. Andrew Miller issued a bases-loaded walk against Nick Castellanos, but Jose Iglesias struck out on a foul tip into the glove to end the game. That's the next topic. Jose Iglesias would finish 0 for 4. Anthony Ghost started in center field tonight, and he finished 2 for 4. His average now is .406. Ian Kroll. Kyle Lobstein started against Nathan Eovaldi, and Lobstein finished the game going 6 innings even, allowing 3 hits, 1 earned run, 4 walking 4, and striking out 3. His ERA is 3.27 now. Ian Kroll only got a third of an inning in, but it was rocky. He gave up 2 earned runs on 2 hits, no walks, no strikeouts. Both of those were home runs in the 7th inning. Then Tom Gorzolany gave up a run in a third of an inning. In the second of thirds in the second inning, gave up an earned run and a hit and a walk. No strikeouts. Kroll's ERA is 7.36. Gorzolani's ERA is 2.25. Al Albuquerque did nothing but walk 2 batters. Didn't get anybody out. Then Blaine Hardy rounded out the rest of the game with his 2 innings and a third, giving up an unearned run on 2 hits, walked 2 and struck out 2. His ERA is 8.10. He's one of the relievers that has struggled, and so has Ian Kroll. But for the rest of the bullpen, Gorzolani and Albuquerque, they just had a rough go. Each of them just had a rough go. Now, normally the Tigers fans would react negatively towards their bullpen, basing on how bad they were last year. The entire bullpen tonight, three innings pitched, 3 innings flat pitched, 4 runs, 3 of them earned, 5 hits, only 2 strikeouts, 5 walks, 2 home runs given up, both of them by Ian Kroll, as I mentioned before. Taking a look at the summary, the only run that Lobstein gave up came in the top of the first when Mark Teixeira doubled in Brett Gardner with a drive to right. Both of those homers were not back-to-back. Kroll would get his only out in between those home runs. They were off the bats of Chris Young and Stephen Drew. Al Albuquerque threw a wild pitch, allowing Jacoby Ellsbury to score after Brett Gardner stole second base. When Brett Gardner was stealing second base, he advanced to third on a wild pitch that allowed Ellsbury to score, while Alex Rodriguez, A-Rod, was at the dish. The Tigers would get on the board with a sacrifice fly off the bat of Jonas Cespedes, scoring J.D. Martinez. The Yankees would get their run back on a fielding error by third baseman Nick Castellanos, his first of the season off the bat, that allowed Brian McCann to reach first base and allowed Brett Gardner to score again. Rajay Davis would round out the scoring with a bases-loaded walk, as I mentioned earlier, with Andrew Miller on the mound. Nick Castellanos loaded the bases with runners on second and third with a walk. Andrew Miller was having trouble with his command, but he settled down. And he got the save for the Yankees. Tigers are still 11-3. Eovaldi gets the win. Lobstein takes the loss, 1-1. Eovaldi is 1-0. Andrew Miller gets his 5th save of the season, but even he would not pitch as good as Joakim Soria has all season thus far. Soria's only given up 1 hit, no runs, no walks, no errors. The only hit he's given up thus far this season was in Cleveland. And since then, he's pitched 1, 2, 3 innings. 3 straight 1, 2, 3 innings. His first save came in only a third of an inning of work on the mound. And it was a strikeout against Michael Bourne. Yes, I just remembered that. David Price will take on David Price will take on what's his first name? Adam Warren. That's what I thought. That's what I sort of remembered. Warren's 0-1 with a 4.82 ERA. Price 1-0 with a 0.40 ERA. 3 minutes left here. Adam Berry headlines. Price looks to keep up strong work against the Yankees. The Yankees and Tigers will continue their 4-game series at Comerica Park on Wednesday at 7:08, with left-hander David Price slated to take the mound for Detroit against righty Adam Warren. Price has been dominant in his first 3 outings, allowing only 1 earned run over 22 1/3 innings. Yet Price has only 1 win to show for his performance. 3 things to know about this game. Number 1, Carlos Beltran should return to the Yankees starting line. Ferrari opted to start Chris Young on Tuesday in favor of Beltran, who's batting just 171 this season. Young, who's tied for the team lead with 4 home runs, will likely start Wednesday as well, with either Jacoby Ellsbury or Brett Gardner expected to sit out. Number 2, Price has nowhere to go but up after his last outing against the Yankees at Comerica Park. In the 3rd inning of his August 27th start, Price served up 9 straight hits and 8 runs. That was at Comerica Park. He pitched only 2 plus innings, giving up 12 hits and a walk. And number 3, Warren has never started against the Tigers, but he is 1-0 with a 1.69 ERA in 4 career relief appearances against Detroit. He's only pitched once at Comerica Park, allowing a run in 1 inning. The right-hander is 1-1 with a 5.95 ERA in 5 career starts overall. So David Price is looking for his revenge tomorrow night. Can he get it? 1 minute left on the show. Let's end this episode. That's
60 seconds.
I'm Taylor Phillips for Taylor's Detroit Sports Show postgame Tuesday, April 21st, 2015, 11:30 p.m. Eastern. I will talk to you tomorrow night at 11:30. TTFN, ta-ta for now.